Chapter 62. Percy. A Titan strode towards them, casually kicking lesser monsters out of his way. He was roughly the same height as Bob, with elaborate Stygian iron armor and a single diamond blazing in the center of his breastplate. His eyes were blue-white like core samples from a glacier, and just as cold. His hair was the same color, cut military style. A battle helmet shaped like a bear's head was tucked under his arm. From his belt hung a sword the size of a surfboard. Despite the battle scars, the Titan's face was handsome and strangely familiar. Percy was pretty sure he'd never seen the guy before, but his eyes and his smile reminded Percy of someone. The Titan stopped in front of Bob. He clapped him on the shoulder. "Apis! Don't tell me you don't recognize your own brother!" "No," Bob agreed nervously. "I won't tell you that." The other Titan threw back his head and laughed. "I heard you were thrown into the leaf. Must have been terrible. We all knew you would eventually heal. It's Koios! Koios!" "Of course," Bob said. "Koios, Titan of the North!" Koios said. "I know," Bob shouted. They laughed together and took turns hitting each other in the arm. Apparently, miffed by all the jostling, small Bob crawled onto Bob's head and began making a nest in the Titan's silver hair. "Poor old Apis," said Koios. "They must have laid you low indeed. Look at you, a broom, a servant's uniform, a cat in your hair. Truly Hades was paid for these insults. Who was the demigod who took your memory? Ha! We must rip him to pieces, you and I, eh?" "Ha ha!" Bob swallowed. "Yes, indeed, rip him to pieces." Percy's fingers closed around his pen. He didn't think much of Bob's brother, even without the rip him to pieces threat. Compared to Bob's simple way of speaking, Koios sounded like he was reciting Shakespeare. That alone was enough to make Percy irritated. He was ready to uncap Riptide if he had to, but so far Koios didn't seem to notice him. And Bob hadn't betrayed them yet, though he'd had plenty of opportunities. "Ah, it's good to see you!" Koios drummed his fingers on his bearhead helmet. "You remember what fun we had in the old days?" "Of course," Bob chirped. "When we, holding down our father Orianos," Koios said. "Yes, we loved wrestling with Dad." "We restrained him." "That's what I meant." "While Kronos cut him to pieces with his scythe." "Yes, ha ha." Bob looked mildly ill. "What fun." "You grabbed father's right foot as I recall," Koios said, "and Orianos kicked you in the face as he struggled. How we used to tease you about that." "Silly me," Bob agreed. "Sadly, our old brother Kronos was dissolved by these impudent demigods." Koios sighed a breath. "Bits and pieces of his essence remain, but nothing you could put together again. I suppose some injuries even Tartarus cannot heal." "Alas." "But the rest of us have another chance to shine, eh?" He leaned forward conspiratorially. "These giants may think they will rule. Let them be our shock troops and destroy the Olympians, all well and good. But once the Earth Mother is awake, she will remember that we are the eldest children. Mark my words, the Titans will yet rule the cosmos." Bob said. "The giants may not like that." "Spit on what they like," Koios said. "They've already passed through the doors of death anyway, back to the mortal world. Polybotes was the last one, not half an hour ago, still grumbling about missing his prey. Apparently some of the demigods he was after got swallowed by Nyx. Never see them again, I wager." Annabeth gripped Percy's wrist. Through the death mist, he couldn't read her expression very well, but he saw the alarm in her eyes. If the giants had already passed through the doors, then at least they wouldn't be hunting through Tartarus for Percy and Annabeth. Unfortunately, that also meant their friends in the mortal world were even in greater danger. All of the earlier fights with the giants had been in vain. Their enemies would be reborn strong as ever. "Well!" Koios drew his massive sword. The blade radiated a cold deeper than the Hubbard Glacier. "I must be off! Ladle should have regenerated by now. I will convince her to fight." "Of course," Bob muttered. "Leto." Koios laughed. "You've forgotten my daughter as well. I suppose it's been too long since you've seen her. The peaceful ones like her always take the longest to reform. This time, though, I'm sure Leto will fight for vengeance. The way Zeus treated her, after she bore him on the fine twins. Outrageous! Percy almost grunted out loud. The twins.